Hello, my name is Luci Christian, and you're watching Blerdography.
Hey, you are Japanese, aren't you?
Yes?
I'm into karate at the moment. Can you be my sparring partner? Everyone in Japan has a black belt, right? I am Luci Christian.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Mark. Welcome back to another Anime Week in Atlanta 2024 video. And I am here with Miss Luci Christian. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good.
How have you been enjoying your con so far?
Oh my gosh, we have had such a good time. It's been so sweet. Everybody in Atlanta is honestly just the sweetest. I couldn't think of a better place to sort of close out my con year than here.
Well, as someone who's a native of Atlanta, we're made of sweet tea and peaches.
I believe it. I believe it.
I'm happy you're just enjoying your con experience, and I'm happy that you just are ecstatic to be in Atlanta.
Yes.
But before we begin the interview, the Blerd Nation wants to know, what have you been geeking out to lately?
What have I been geeking out to? Well, I've been geeking out to One Piece. Like everybody else. It is super fun for us we've been doing it for a minute. And the fact that everybody is sort of watching it right now is so invigorating and exciting. And a bunch of the Straw Hats are watching it with our kids right now. And everybody is in different arcs and in different places. And we have a group chat. So we pop up in our group chat to be like, you're so good. No, you're so good. You're so funny. So it's a lot of like giving each other flowers and stuff right now. But I also geek out to English TV, like Great
BBC?
Britain. Yes, like British baking show.
Okay.
There's a show called Call the Midwife that is my favorite show. I love it. And I'm taking a tour of the 90s. I'm rewatching ER right now. Like I'm binging ER, which is super fun.
Yeah. No, oh my God, that actually sounds like fun.
It's great.
For me, my ER is Scrubs, so like it's time for
I get you. Yes, I get you.
Okay, so let me ask, where did it all begin for you? What is your nerdy origin story?
Well, my nerdy origin story isn't so much an anime, but it was books. I mean, I grew up being a reader and identifying with strong and interesting and courageous and broken people in books. And I feel like that translated really easily to anime when I got into it. But yeah, I was kind of a nerdy literature kid.
That's how it starts for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For me, it was comic books and Power Rangers, obviously. So.
Yeah.
So, but like once you became a nerd and you like, I'm a nerd, it's like the best thing ever. It's like the best thing ever. Like the world is just your oyster at that point.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you like what you like.
Yes.
Right. I would hope that in this modern day that we're in, that people are allowed to like what they like a little more. Right. You know?
Yeah, I understand. They should be able to. So how did you get involved in voice acting?
I had gone to school and done theater and stuff. And the time came where I was like, do I go to New York? Do I go to LA? Well, I don't have money for either. So I went to Houston, where I had family, and got an agent while I worked a bunch of day jobs and started booking commercial voice work. Like there's a lot of voice work that's not anime.
Right.
And it never occurred to me that would be something I would have that I would do, but I really enjoyed voice work from the get-go, and I straight up got an audition to do anime. I booked a little tiny part in a show called Neoranga, and I went and did it, and I went home and told my roommate, well, I suck at that. I'm so bad, they're never going to have me back. Thank you for the paycheck. And a couple of weeks later, that studio, ADV Films at the time, was casting a show called Full Metal Panic. And I miraculously booked the lead and was like, what? So I remember going to the internet. I was going to do some research. And I found myself on Anime News Network and realized that people were not only going to watch the show, but people would review it and talk about the dub acting. And I had a really good time. I was like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. But I can say safely that it has worked out.
Okay.
All these years later, but that was kind of, after Full Metal Panic, I have worked consistently. That's it. That is what did it.
Yes. So, not to gloat, but I'm gonna point out your resume a little bit because some of the characters you have portrayed have been some of my favorite animes. You were Raft in Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
And you were in what was it? Ouran High School Host Club. Yes.
Yes, Honey Senpai.
Yes, and I did not know watching that anime would lead me to going to maid cafes and like experiencing like host club type mentality, and I love it. I did not think I would love it.
I love that Ouran was the gateway for you for that. That's great.
I can't explain it. It was just like something I was like, why do people watch this? And then I'm watching it and I'm like, this is really interesting. And then I'm coming to these conventions and they have maid cafes and I was like, you know what?
I want to do it.
Let's go. And I'm happy. I am so happy that door has been opened for me because I never thought I would be into something like that.
I love that. That's what it's for. Like, that's what it's supposed to do, you know?
Right. Let me ask you, which one of your characters do your fans most recognize you for?
These days, it is definitely Ochaco from My Hero Academia and Nami from One Piece. Those are definitely the top two. Although I will say Ouran, I think, is like a strong third, which is so interesting because it was just the one season so many years ago. But it's an iconic show.
It is an iconic show.
With so many people's gateway show and comfort show.
Yeah, I can see it's such a comforting anime to watch. It's like just you put it on, you can relax. You don't have to worry about.
It's easy to binge.
Right.
You know, you only get so much. That's all there is.
Right.
For now, we all hope for a second season. Hope.
Fingers crossed.
Hope springs eternal.
So let me ask you, you do more than just voice acting. You're also involved in ADR script writing. How did you get started with that?
Well, I haven't done it in a while, but I did get into that for a little while. When you do this a lot, you develop a spidey sense pretty easily of what is going to fit and sound right, looking at the flaps, right? That's ADR script writing. That's what it is. You take the straight translation and you look at what the Japanese said and what that translation is, and you look at the flaps and go, how do I make that sentiment fit those flaps for an English audience and make sense and flow in a scene? And having dubbed for a really long time, I was good at doing that. I wrote most of the first season of, there was a show called D. Gray Man. It's great.
Oh yes, I'm very familiar with that.
I wrote most of that, which was fun because I was also in it. And then Todd was Alan, and he was also directing it. So there was a lot going on. But yeah, that show, Bamboo Blade, it was fun. I really enjoyed writing when I did. It was great.
Right. So you mentioned lip flaps, and I know in voice acting that is a big deal, having to match what you are saying to animated lip flaps of Japanese language, and just having to adapt that to English because animators are cheap. It costs a lot of money to reanimate mouth movements into another language. How challenging is that process?
I think when you're first starting out, it's really challenging because you've got. It used to be there were paper scripts on a music stand, and the video up here, and so you're like, where do I look to try to match, right? And now it's all on screen, so you'll have your script over here and your video here. Okay. So it's a little closer, and you can kind of out of the corner of your eye see the lips going.
Gotcha.
But generally what they'll do, again, when you're starting out, it's very freaky. It's very deer in headlights and kind of surreal. But once you get a vibe, you usually you'll preview it first so you can kind of see what the animation does and see what clues the animation gives you on how you should read it, because it will give you clues, and then you just take a go. You just do it. And like I said, once you've done it for a while, you get pretty good at getting pretty close the first or second take.
Okay. And what is the process of like just recording your voice? Like, do you have to go into a studio all the time, or are you able to do it from home? Or does it depend on the project?
It kind of depends on the project. And different studios, different projects have different requirements, and different studios have different requirements. For anime, gosh, I never thought I would record anime from home. I record audiobooks from home. I record e-learning and corporate narration and TV commercials and stuff from home. But dubbing obviously requires fitting flaps, and it's a whole technical thing that is different. Different. And I'm not an engineer. I'm an actor. So, but the pandemic made us sort of...
all engineers.
Right. It kind of jump-started a thing.
Right.
And now that we're sort of post that, sometimes, most of the time, people would prefer you to go in to record, just because it's easier on... certainly on the client side to just have you there, make sure everything fits. There's no possibility that the internet's going to drop out, and all that stuff. But there is the option of doing things online if you need to, which is great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone who might be interested in going into voice acting?
I have some advice. I also understand, though, that I came up in a time where there was no internet. There was internet, but it was baby internet, and it had no bearing really on my work or on getting jobs. And that is different now. That is definitely something that probably other people know more than I do. What I do know is it's a great industry. It can be a heartbreaking industry. My best advice generally is make sure that you are taking some workshops and stuff if you're just starting out, so that you can get some feedback. One of the weird things is knowing sort of what to do. What should I do?
Right.
Well, if you're a baby starting out, you should take some classes. You should make sure you know how to act and read and all that stuff, and emote and all that stuff. That is the first step. The second step, if you've already done all that, if you already have a microphone at home, then it's different. Then, hey, you could start looking for work. If you have already received feedback from people that, hey, you're really good, you should start reading, or I could introduce you to so-and-so. You can contact companies and say, I would like to be put on your audition list. You can look, there's definitely work online. I have never done fan dubs. Other people have and have come into the industry that way. I have played around on a couple of pay-to-play sites like Voices123 or Voices.com. And I am on Voices.com, and I find that legit. I mean, like anything, there are great jobs in places and things you don't want to take.
Right.
And you will only learn that kind of through trial and error. But putting yourself out there is just something. The job is auditioning over and over and over and over and over for as many people as you can audition for, trying to get on a group of people's short list. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense.
You want to have a whole group, think of it as a basket. I have all of these clients in this basket, and I'm on all of their short list. So that, if one person isn't hiring me right now, I am not worried about it. I don't feel worried about it. I'm not going to call them and be like, why aren't you hiring me?
Right.
I have other work, right? And it's the hardest thing to do, but is the best thing to do, is to sort of diversify, get you a few really boring client, get bread and butter work in addition to the work. It always comes and goes. It's the nature of it. That's my best advice.
That's some really good sound
I hope
advice.
it's helpful.
No, I'm sure that's helpful, especially voice.com. I'm sure a lot of people don't even know about to go there and just create profiles.
No, well, and I mean, people have different opinions on pay-to-play sites like that. Like, because literally you pay a fee and then there are tiers and all that stuff. And I assume some of them are better than others. I have gotten legitimate work off of that one. I have an agent. They function like an agent. If they take 20%, my agent takes 20%. That is the way sort of...
Right. How the industry works.
It's just kind of how it works, right? Unless you feel like you're not comfortable with that, and then go do your own thing. I mean, take what I say that helps you and leave the rest and do what works for you. Everybody's path is different. And all I can say is that I think it's a really fun gig. And for a woman, I will say for a woman who has much of my 20s, 30s, 40s was spent in this industry. And you know, it doesn't matter what I look like. I've had 2 babies, but you know what? You know who can't tell? A microphone.
Right.
Right. So I really enjoy this gig for the freedom. And I play little boys. I play monsters. I play sweet little girls and villains. It's fun. It's fun.
It sounds like fun. It sounds like you just have so much fun. Just a side note. Out of all your characters that you have voiced, which character is most like you personality-wise?
I would like to say Ochaco. She's such a can-do girl, and she's really encouraging. I'm very loyal. And I would like to think that I possess all of those kinds of things. I have a determination in me that I think kind of gels with her. On my hot days, I guess I can run a little Nami. I'm not punching people, okay? I'm not doing that. But I do admire Nami for her. Sometimes her no nonsense, like cut to the chase.
Right.
Like, I'm here for that.
Right. Well, thank you so much for this interview. This has been so much fun. I cannot wait to put this out there and see what the fans think. But everybody, this has been Mark. This has been AWA 2024. Stay tuned for even more coverage on the last day of MomoCon. Oh, wait. There we go. There we go again. Last day of AWA. It's the last day of AWA. Stay tuned for more content.
That's right. Peace out. So I don't blame you. The cons get mixed up in my head too.
Yeah, especially like MomoCon is on that side.
Right here. I know.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, Mark. I am here at Anime Week in Atlanta. It is day 4. It is Sunday, the best day of a con. And I'm here with Miss Luci Christian. How are you?
I'm Luci Christian.
Oh my God.
It's okay. I do get Lisa. I do, but I'm Lucy.